A young mother's life is cut short by a senseless act of violence.
I kept hearing them saying it was a drive-by.
Oh, God, keep that rating.
Police really had no idea what happened or why it happened.
A loving family is stunned by what comes to light.
I was mad. What was the reason behind this?
I lost it. I went punching holes in the wall.
Why would you tell such an outrageous lie?
As each startling secret pours out, detectives have to wonder if it all isn't a motivation for murder.
Somebody slashed her tires in her mom's driveway.
Could have very well pushed them over the top.
There were so many different stories, it was impossible to separate fact from fiction.
February 18th, 2013. It's a chilly winter evening in Decatur, Georgia. At the Simpson family home, relatives are gathered to mourn the loss of the Simpsons' oldest son, Charles Jr.
Charles Jr. was serving time in prison when he became involved in a scuffle with another inmate and was killed in prison.
Also present at the repast is 20-year-old Shakira Dunson, the girlfriend of Charles's brother, Carlos.
Yo, I can't believe he gone right now.
Being that Carlos' brother had passed, she felt the need to pay her condolences.
At 10:25 p.m., the solemnity of the night is shattered by the sound of a single gunshot.
Somebody just got shot. Where? Eagles next door. Hurry up.
First responders race to the scene. In the driveway, they find a group of people huddled around a parked vehicle.
There's a person that's been shot that is laying on the ground.
The person on the ground is Shakira Dunson. She has a single gunshot wound to her head.
Miss Dunson is lying with the driver's door open with her legs partially in the driveway and part of her body laying in the grass area.
Paramedics take over life-saving procedures, but there's little they can do.
I'm not getting a pulse.
Shakira is pronounced dead at the scene.
But what could have sparked such a horrific crime? And who's responsible?
At that point, police really had no idea what had happened or why it had happened.
As detectives race to the scene, little do they know they're about to be thrust into an age-old story of love, jealousy, and divided loyalty.
I looked to heavens and said, Shy, why? Why?
Shakira Dunson was born in Atlanta, Georgia on February 27, 1992.
She was my second child and my only girl. She had a smile that would just take over the world.
She was bubbly, someone that you couldn't resist, child that you would always want around you.
Shakira's effervescent personality found the perfect outlet early in life.
She really started to blossom around age 7. She did pageants, tongue twirling, gymnastics. She had the energy of 5 or 6 kids at one time.
That energetic girl eventually blossomed into a smart, beautiful young woman. At Forest Park High, she was both a standout student and spirited cheerleader.
Cheerleading was her thing. Everybody pretty much knew her for the girl who flipped all the time at the basketball games. She could flip, oh my God, something crazy. All the way down the gym. Wherever you wanted her to flip, she could do it.
But it was at Shakira's high school graduation party in May of 2010 that she met a young man that would change her life.
We were outside just flipping up and down the front yard, and there was this guy next door who we didn't know.
I see y'all. Y'all pretty good, man. I see you right here.
Thank you.
We actually just moved in next door. What's your name?
I'm Shakira.
Shakira?
Yeah.
Carlos Simpson.
Okay,
They
Carlos.
call me Carlo.
Okay, nice to meet you, Carlos.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
At first, Shakira wasn't sure what to make of her new neighbor. He was a little older, a little rough around the edges.
He had dreads, what looked to me to be kind of thuggish.
Unlike Shakira, Carlo never graduated from high school, so he made a living mowing grass.
But if Shakira and Carlos seemed like polar opposites, over the course of that long, hot summer, the two next-door neighbors warmed up to each other.
She was telling me about Carlos. Oh, he's sweet. He's cute.
She sees the best in everybody. She felt like she could make him into a better person. It seemed like every time she saw him, she just got jumpy, happy, her stomach bubbling. You know how that goes when you got a crush.
But despite Shakira's strong feelings for Carlos, she remained hesitant to take their relationship public.
When I questioned her about it, she was like, no, Mom, we're just friends. There's nothing going on. But then later down the line, I found out that there was more to it.
She knew her parents didn't approve of Carlo, so she wanted to take it slow and hope that they came around.
That fall, Shakira enrolled at Georgia Perimeter College with dreams of becoming a nurse.
I think her need to be a nurse came from my father, because my father was a nurse. So just watching what he did and listening to what he did, she felt the need to do that.
Shakira easily adjusted to college life, earning terrific grades during her freshman year.
She had that drive, well, you know, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do what I need to do.
Shakira seemed to have it all. She's doing well in school, on her way to a good career, and has a man that she's falling for. Life is good.
But the following autumn, the 19-year-old got some unexpected news.
Shakira found out she was pregnant.
I was really, really angry. I'm like, this is not the life you want for yourself. You don't want to just be a statistic. You don't want to be another baby mama. This is not who you're destined to be.
Despite her parents' reservations, Shakira and Carlos were determined to have their child and build a life together.
Shakira's parents were disappointed, but they loved Shakira and they eventually rallied around her.
Well, it's our baby and we got to be there for her.
On April 20th, 2012, the couple welcomed a beautiful baby boy named Rafael into the world.
Carlo and Shakira knew it was going to be difficult, what with work, school, and a baby. But they seemed excited about building a family together.
Once the baby came in the picture, they both were excited. Their bond was like unbreakable.
But just 10 months later, on February 18th, 2013, all of Shakira's hopes and dreams vanished into the ether.
Just 9 days short of her 21st birthday, Shakira suffered a fatal gunshot wound standing just outside her boyfriend's family home.
This is beyond tragic. A young mother, beautiful, smart, driven, with her whole life ahead of her, and in an instant, that life has been snuffed out.
But snuffed out by whom? And why? What investigators learn next will only make Shakira's death that much more perplexing.
There were so many different stories going around. It wasn't adding up.
On February 18th, 2013, 20-year-old Shakira Dunson was shot to death while standing outside her boyfriend Carlos's family home in Decatur, Georgia. Police now want to know who committed such a horrific crime and why.
The person who called 911 told the operator it was a drive-by shooting, so that's where police start.
Responding officers learned the 911 call was made by Victoria Simpson, Carlos's sister.
Were you the one to call 911?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what happened?
Victoria said that she, her sister Luana, and a family friend, Mark Thomas, were hanging out in the car talking to Shakira, who was standing right beside them.
Hey, y'all.
She gonna girl.
What you up to?
Ignore them. They had just purchased a radio prior to my brother Wade. We was in the car, listening to the radio.
They heard a vehicle coming down the street. It was described as a black Honda with a loud muffler. They heard one shot. The next thing they knew is their friend had been shot in the head right next to that vehicle.
Victoria and Luana tell police that their brother, Shakira's boyfriend Carlos, was inside the house when the shooting occurred.
Where's Shy right now, man? Shy! No! Baby, look!
Police immediately issue an alert for this mysterious vehicle.
The officer puts out a bolo. A bolo is be on the lookout for. And he's given this information over radio dispatch to other police officers, surrounding agencies, so they know what to look for.
The uniform division, they will and drive around the neighborhood, the areas, and see if, in fact, they see that make and model of the vehicle.
As police intensify their search for the mysterious black Honda, homicide detective Adam Quigley and his team arrive on the scene.
So what do we have here?
The victim, Shakira Dunson, she has a single gunshot wound to the face.
Our entire unit deployed to the scene. We canvassed the neighborhood. We went through some of the crime scene, and we interviewed very briefly the witnesses.
Investigators know there's any number of possible motives.
Was this a random shooting? Was Shakira the intended target? Or was someone else at the Simpson household the target?
Remember, Carlo's brother, Charles Jr., had just been killed after an altercation in prison. That's why the family was there at the house. So you had to wonder, was this shooting somehow related to that?
While investigators ponder the possibilities, Shakira's family learns the devastating news.
Hello?
This weird number keeps calling.
What?
What?
I just dropped the phone and I immediately went to screaming, Sean, DeMarcus, Shy has been shot.
When I heard it, it was like my whole world just dropped. Like it just fell. It was chaos.
The whole house just got numb. I grabbed my keys and we all jumped in the car.
Shakira's family races over to the Simpson house.
Where's my door? Tell me something.
It was very chaotic. The crime scene tape was up. Police cars were everywhere. I'm like, can somebody tell me something? This is my baby. What's going on?
I can see my sister's body literally like laying there beside her car. And my mom goes to screaming saying, I know that's my baby.
When I saw her, I just broke.
I was so weak. I mean, all the breath that was in my body was gone.
Shakira's grief-stricken family turns to her boyfriend Carlos for answers.
What happened to Shy?
I asked him what happened. He said that was a drive-by shooting and Shy got shot.
I was inside when it happened. I came out and that's how she was, man. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I don't know, man. I swear, man.
Sit inside, please. Come. Let's go inside.
Detectives also want to talk to Carlos.
Just want to ask you a few questions. You're her boyfriend?
Yes, sir.
Detectives noticed that he had blood on his clothing or articles that he was wearing.
What's all that blood from?
Because I ran to her when I realized she'd been shot. I tried CPR. I tried to save her.
Carlo, he appears to be distraught. What the officer sees is consistent with what's been told by other people at the scene.
All right. Do you have any idea who could have done this?
Oh, I have no idea.
Police continue searching the neighborhood for evidence, but it seems every step they take is another dead end.
If it was a semi-automatic handgun that possibly would leave you shell casings in the street, we didn't have that. We didn't have any tire marks.
Did you get anything on that car? No, sir. Okay, thank you.
But as this mystery deepens, it's about to take another troubling turn. Sometimes following your heart means playing with fire.
Listen to your family. Your family always knows what's best.
In the pre-dawn hours of February 19th, 2013, police in Decatur, Georgia are searching for a vehicle allegedly involved in the drive-by shooting death of 20-year-old Shakira Dunson.
The big mystery was who was in that car and what was their motive. Were they targeting Shakira or someone else at the house?
Desperate for answers, detectives turn to Shakira's heartbroken family.
Very sorry about your loss, but we need to ask you a few questions about Shy and Carlo.
Yeah, what can you tell us about the relationship?
I'll be honest. I ain't never liked that boy. I mean, it was just something about him that said trouble.
To me, Carlos was not respectful at all. He wasn't a fit for my daughter. I mean, he had this thug mentality.
He was one of those wannabe bad boys. And there is some level of celebration of the bad boys in our society. And so, unfortunately, our young, smart, good women sometimes are attracted to that.
Carlos's new line of work also rubbed Shakira's friends and family the wrong way.
When I started noticing that he was in the street selling drugs, I was like, Shy, you sure this is what you want?
She knew how I felt about him. I wasn't secretive about it. I told her I didn't like him. I told him I didn't like him. Told his parents the same thing. I don't like him. And I don't think he's right for my child.
I've seen a lot of times when the parents don't approve, it pushes the couple together. It makes them even more eager to be together because it feels like the world is against us. And we'll make it if we just hang together.
The mind is a tricky thing, and the heart is even that much trickier. In the back of your mind is saying, run for the hills, but your heart is saying, I love him.
Had that devotion to Carlos cost Shakira her life?
This was a guy that was allegedly tied up in drugs. It could have been a dispute over turf or a drug deal gone bad. And someone came looking for Carlo and shot Shakira instead.
That was my first thought, that someone was actually after him. She took a bullet for him or got shot for him because it was something that he did in the streets.
That's all we need for now. We will be in touch soon.
While detectives head back to the station to mull over the drug lead, an autopsy is being conducted on Shakira's body at the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office.
The medical examiner eventually calls detectives with the results from the autopsy, and what he tells them is pretty alarming.
She was what? Really?
Of course, the cause of death, a single bullet wound to the head, was not a surprise to investigators. But what was a surprise was that the pathologist determined that Shakira was pregnant, about 22 weeks pregnant.
What was that?
She was pregnant.
Investigators share the heartbreaking news of Shakira's second pregnancy with her family.
Hello?
Ms. Dunson? This is Detective Quigley.
Yes, detective.
Sorry to bother you and your family. I know it's been a rough time for you guys.
And I need to check with you on something. Were you aware that your daughter was pregnant?
She was what?
I had no earthly idea because Sha was little, so she did not look as though she was expecting.
It was very sad to me. It hurted to the depths of my bones.
I was mad. I was mad because we will not be able to see her nor this baby. And I'm like, what was the reason behind this?
Once Shakira's family absorbs this tragic news, the subject of Carlos comes up.
During the relationship, Shakira found out that Carlo had other kids and other baby mothers.
Carlo had children with at least 2 other women. One of them even lived with Carlo for a time.
According to friends and family, Shakira had recently begun to suspect these women were more than just past flings.
One night, Carlo comes home late, and Shakira decides to confront him about the sketchy behavior he's been exhibiting.
She's like, where you been? And of course, she knew where he had been. 9 times out of 10, if she asked you a question, she already knew the answer. She was just waiting to see whether he was going to lie to her.
But try as he might, it apparently wasn't easy for Carlos to keep a lid on all his baby mama's drama.
All of these women were competing for Carlos' affection, and they apparently didn't like Shakira, and they weren't afraid to show it.
Who is this?
Hey,
Excuse me?
hey,
You better watch your mouth.
Hey, calm down, ladies.
No,
Calm
who
down.
is this? Who are you?
At one point in time, Shy was hysterical because somebody slashed her tires in her mom's driveway. There was a time that some girls wanted to fight her at work.
I guess one of the girls' name would come up, and then a girl would call Shakira. It was a back and forth thing with them, and Shakira would basically say something to her instead of Carlos stepping in as the man.
These other women are becoming more aggressive towards Shakira, and Carlo wasn't doing anything about it.
Could this behavior have escalated to murder?
If one of these other women had learned that Shakira was pregnant, that very well could have pushed them over the top.
Within hours of Shakira Dunson's death, investigators in Decatur, Georgia have already identified several potential motives for her murder.
The witnesses at the scene, who were all friends and family of Shakira's boyfriend, Carlo, told police it was a drive-by shooting. The only question was who would have done something like that.
Carlo had exes that were probably jealous of Shakira being pregnant. There's also the possibility that someone was gunning for Carlo for a drug deal gone bad.
Carlo was into some marijuana. We didn't know at what level, if he was dealing, selling. We did have to look at, was this a target?
But before detectives have time to explore either lead more closely, they learn there's been a possible game-changing discovery at the impound lot where CSIs have been processing the car.
What'd you find?
I found a 9mm shell casing. It was stuck between the window and the dash.
That shell casing is found right where the dashboard meets the windshield. There ought not to be a shell casing in the vehicle if the drive-by shooting occurred from a car that was on the street.
It was hard for me to believe that a moving vehicle shot one round through an open window.
Someone had a weapon inside the car.
Investigators now know one of their eyewitnesses is lying to them. But whom?
At this point, police don't have any idea what had happened. Could it have been a confrontation between Shakira and one of Carlo's other girlfriends at his house? Or could it have been a drug deal gone bad?
At that time, a decision was made to have the 3 witnesses transported to our unit so they could be interviewed more in detail.
Just after daybreak, investigators split Mark Thomas and Carlos Simpson's 2 sisters up to interview them separately.
We explained to them the seriousness of the incident, and we allowed them to write their own statement in their own words, without any confrontation from us.
As for the recently discovered shell casing, police decide to keep that a secret for now.
We don't want them to know what we know. So we allowed them to write their full statement. It was very consistent. The story was, so we have 2 females in the back seat, and we have the victim standing next to the driver's side door. They're listening to music and just talking. It was a consistent story from the scene that they heard one gunshot and they observed their friend, get shot.
The witnesses at the scene, who were all friends and family of Shakira's boyfriend, Carlo, told police it was a drive-by shooting. The only question was who would have done something like that.
It's then that detectives decide to play their trump card. They start with Carlos's sister, Victoria.
We have reason to believe that Shakira was not shot in a drive-by. So we need you to tell us what's going on. Did it have something to do with drugs? One of Carlo's other girlfriends? Was he even in the house?
No. Look, somebody definitely shot at us. I swear. But I don't know who it was.
I hear you. The only thing with that is that all the evidence that we have is not gelling with your story at all.
Victoria didn't want to budge on her story. So the police turned to her sister, Luana, but she says the same thing.
We were all chilling in the car. A black car just pulls up out of nowhere. The next thing you know, bang, shot.
Man, Luana stuck with that same story. It was a drive-by.
For investigators, it's a frustrating quagmire. So they lean on their alleged third eyewitness, Simpson family friend Mark Thomas.
You and your friends are in some hot water. We know this wasn't a drive-by shooting. We know there was a gun in Shakira's car. So you need to help yourself and them by telling us the truth.
We told y'all the truth.
Mark initially sticks with his story about the drive-by shooting, but as they start to press him, his resolve slowly weakens.
Okay, listen to me. You stick with that story, and you could find yourself of being charged with accessory after the fact.
Got something to show y'all back at the house.
Mark leads police to an area behind the Simpsons' home.
He takes the police to the tree in the backyard of the house.
The detectives went back there and located the firearm.
What you got?
Detectives notice it's the same caliber as the shell casing found in Shakira's car.
Got 9mm.
I didn't want Carlo to hurt himself, so I just threw it over there. He started acting real crazy when Sha got shot.
That's all Mark was willing to say at that point, that he took the gun and tried to hide it.
He moved the gun, tried to protect my brother, but he thought he was doing something right.
Mark is in a unique position. According to his statement, he's in the backseat of the vehicle. We have a shell casing that's in the vehicle, and Mark is ultimately the person who leads them to that gun.
Now, on one hand, Mark seems to be helping the police by leading them to this critical piece of evidence. But at the same time, he also complicates the story because up until now, the police have been told that Carlo was inside the house at the time of the shooting.
Investigators know there are two critical witnesses who may hold the answer. Carlos Simpson's sisters, Victoria and Luana.
Detectives already have them at police headquarters, so they decide to see if they can get one of them to tell the truth.
Once again, detectives sit down with Luana.
Still want to say that this was a drive-by shooting?
I do.
Do you know that there's penalty for making a false statement to the police?
The detectives start asking her, you have 2 small kids, right? Do you want to see their mama in jail? Who's going to take care of those kids?
We've already found the shell casing. We have the gun. We know there was no drive-by shooting.
When I confronted her with our evidence and how I knew she was being untruthful, she made the decision just it wasn't worth sticking with the lie anymore.
What happened that night?
Carlos wasn't in the house.
Where was he?
He was in the car. He was on the driver's seat.
According to Luana, Carlo was in the car with her, Victoria, and Mark smoking marijuana when Shakira came up to the vehicle.
It came from a real spot. It came from a real place.
I need my car, Carlo.
Yo, where you think you're going right now, baby?
Home with my car? Y'all gonna have to take your party somewhere else.
She says Carlo and Shakira start arguing, and at some point, Shakira reaches into the car and pulls out a gun.
How about you go back inside the house and take care of the baby?
I'll take my baby with me, and we're not coming back.
Why would you say something like that? Hey, whoa, hey, baby, I need you to calm down. This is not a toy, all right?
Luana claims that Shakira and Carlo began tussling over the weapon, and Luana hears what she believes is the safety clicking off.
Get out my car! What's wrong with you?
Give me the gun down. What's wrong with you?
The next thing she hears is a bang.
What did you do?
I don't know, man.
Oh my God! Carlo!
Stop, yo. I don't know, man. Yo, stop, yo, why?
And it was during this chaos that Carlo's sister says Mark picked up the gun and hid it.
Luana's statement suggests Carlos killed Shakira after all. However, the motive is less clear.
Carlo was guilty of killing Shakira. We had physical evidence that is consistent with that statement, but we need to know why. Was it premeditated? Was it an act of passion? Was it an accident? And we needed the why.
Less than 24 hours after the shooting death of expectant mother Shakira Dunson, detectives investigating the case are certain of one thing. Shakira's 23-year-old boyfriend, Carlos, definitely played some role in her death.
Carlos' sister and friend confessed to making up the whole drive-by shooting story. It wasn't a drug deal gone bad. It wasn't one of Carlos' exes who was jealous of Shakira. It was Carlo and Shakira who were wrestling over a gun, and it just went off.
Give me the gun down. What's wrong with They were supping with the gun. It happened so quick, everybody kind of paused.
For investigators, the question now is whether the shooting was an accident or not. Detectives immediately bring Carlos Simpson into the station.
When I went through his Miranda rights, it was obvious that he lacked education. He had a difficult time reading and writing. Taking that into consideration, I made sure to go over each individual right of his and make sure he didn't have any questions about him. I believe we went through them 3 to 4 different times.
Carl, once again, we're really sorry for your loss.
They don't start by confronting him with, "We know you did this, you might as well confess," because he may shut down and lawyer up. They want to build trust with Carlo and hope he'll tell them what happened.
We went maybe the first 30, 45 minutes into the interview with empathy. We tried to distance the fact that we were cops and kind of show him that we were people, we had our own families, we have our own feelings.
If you could just go over the story one more time, what happened?
I remember I was in the kitchen, and that's when I heard a loud bang.
Carlo, of course, doesn't know that his sisters have already told police what actually happened, so he just sticks with his story that it was a drive-by shooting.
Look, we know you were in the car. We know you had the gun.
We had to let him know that people make mistakes, but there are consequences for your actions. And I think that made it a lot easier for him to speak to us.
I was in the car. It was me, my sisters, Mark, we were all in the car. We're just having a good time, just listening to music, laughing, something about...
Carlos says it was then Shakira approached the car.
I need my car, Carlo.
Yeah. Oh, baby, why are you so angry right now? What's wrong?
I have to go to work tomorrow, Carlo.
He tells the police that they weren't really fighting. They were arguing a bit. There was some back and forth. He asked her to go on back inside and check on their 10-month-old child.
Baby, look, how about you go back in the house, take care of the baby. He needs his mama right now.
I'll take the baby. Yeah, we're not coming back.
At some point, a gun comes out. A gun that Carlo claimed he bought for Shakira's protection, and her hand brushed it and it went off.
He tells him the gun goes off accidentally. It was not intentional. He didn't mean to shoot her.
Why would you even say something like that right now?
Don't point that at me, except you want to use it.
I mean, what you mean? Ain't nobody playing like that.
Oh my God.
Once the trigger was pulled, there was immediately shot that, hey, I've shot Shakira. We need to get help. We need to do something.
I swear to God, I wouldn't shoot her on purpose. It went off on its own.
He was upset. He understood that his life had just changed, in a drastic way. And now he's looking at very serious criminal charge.
The question now is how serious. As Carlos is taken into custody, investigators try to unravel the truth.
Carlo's story sounds improbable at best. Guns don't just go off accidentally.
The investigators aren't really buying this story, but to disprove it, they're going to need a motive, a reason why Carlo would have shot her.
When police confront their 3 chief eyewitnesses, they seem to confirm at least one part of Carlos's version of events.
Mark paints a picture of Carlo banging on the car because he's so upset. His other sister, who's in the backseat of the vehicle, gives a similar account of how distraught Carlo is, of him being upset, of him crying, of him holding Shakira's body. And so all of the testimony of witnesses who were actually at the scene of the shooting appear to paint a picture of an accidental shooting.
He loved Shakira. They were finna get married. Carlo wanted her shot. I know that for a fact.
But when detectives talk to Shakira's family, they learn her relationship with Carlos had become increasingly strained in recent months.
I'm tired. I don't want to argue no more. I don't want to keep going back and forth. And I asked her that day after the shot, have Carlos been physically abusive to you? And she was like, Mama, no. No, he hasn't. I said, Shy, you telling me the truth? Because I felt in my heart that he had been. I just felt in my heart.
I can recall one night, her just calling me. She was crying. She's like, I'm just tired of him, tired of everything. I could hear the frustration in her voice. At that point in time, it was arguing constantly.
Carlos and his family weren't surprising. support for the baby. They wasn't doing nothing.
The relationship was toxic. They were arguing back and forth, and that's not who Shy was. She was this vibrant young lady, you know, always smiling. And it got to a point where she started to look like she was just drained. She was always tired.
In fact, Shakira's cousin, Jessica Gilbert, recounts a conversation that took place between Carlos and Shakira only one day before Shakira's death.
She was taking me to my daughter's father's house, and he called.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Sha, what are you doing? Because I've been calling.
She put him on speakerphone.
When I call you, you pick up the phone.
I am not dealing with this, Carlo. You know what? I want out.
Yo, you can't do this to me.
They was going back and forth, and he stated to her, if I can't have you, I'm going to make sure no one else will.
All right, well, hear this. You do this to me, you regret it.
Did he just like, okay, it just...
I was asking her, Kira, why do you continue on going back and forth with him? If you don't want to be with him, leave.
Apparently, that's exactly what Shakira intended to do.
The very next night, the night that she's killed, Shakira goes to dinner with her brother DeMarcus, and she tells him she's reached the end of her rope.
I just can't take it anymore. I think he's still seeing this other woman. And he keeps lying to me about it.
Just enjoy dinner. Who is it?
You know who.
Carlos kept calling, asking where she was at and what she was doing and who she was with.
He was insinuating that she was out with another man and cheating on him.
And she was just saying, like, stop calling me. I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone.
Goodbye. That's it. I'm done.
Shakira tells her brother that she just can't take it anymore and that the relationship's over. And she is going to go over to Carlos' house and end it once and for all.
So I asked her, like, do you want me to go with you? And she was like, no, you don't have to go with me because I don't want nothing happening. So I was like, all right. So I was like, I love you.
Tragically, though, that was the last time DeMarcus spoke to his sister ever again.
Detectives start to believe the shooting was no accident, but they still need more evidence to build their case.
The problem for authorities is that two of the eyewitnesses are Carlos' sisters, and their story is that Shakira grabbed the gun first, then there was a tussle, and Shakira was accidentally shot.
Since 3 of their 4 chief witnesses are related, authorities lean once again on Mark Thomas.
The DA is planning on charging with evidence tampering.
Ooh.
I can't promise you anything, but if you're truthful with us, it might help you out on your sentencing.
All
right, so look, right now's the time when you need to tell us the truth about exactly what happened.
According to Mark, moments before the shooting, Carlo and Shakira were talking smack to each other. But more importantly, and conversely to what Carlo's sisters had said, Mark claims that Carlo had control of the gun and was waving it in Shakira's face.
She like rushed the gun and there was a shot.
Don't point that at me. It's such a plan.
After hearing Mark's full account, police feel confident about one thing.
With the evidence that we found, we know he was angry, he was motivated, and he killed her.
Carlos Simpson is formally charged with Shakira's murder and the murder of their unborn child.
He was charged with felony murder, beat-aside, possession of a firearm, and the commission of a felony, and aggravated assault.
There was no comfort. There's still no comfort because him being arrested never brings her back. It never lets us see her smile, hear her laugh. It's gone.
And maybe the most trying part of this story is yet to come. Because like beauty, justice is all in the eye of the beholder.
The big question remains, was this a premeditated act of violence? Carlos' family says no. Shakira's family says yes.
In February of 2013, 23-year-old Carlos Simpson was charged with the shooting death of his pregnant girlfriend, 20-year-old Shakira Dunson, in Decatur, Georgia.
Carlo readily admitted to shooting Shakira. The only question was whether that shooting was accidental or deliberate when he pulled the trigger.
I think he purposely pulled it. And he said that it was an accident.
This wasn't an accident. Carlos killed Shy.
Loaded me to do this. Carlo cares so much about Shakira. My brother just made a mistake and shot his girlfriend. This actually was a accidental death.
On the one hand, you have Carlo, his sisters, and his family saying that it was an accident. And on the other hand, you have Shakira's family who says that Shakira went there that night to end the relationship and Carlo killed her in a fit of rage.
And it's under that cloud of controversy that Carlos Simpson's trial gets underway on March 3rd, 2015, 2 years after Shakira's death.
The prosecution believed that they had an argument, that she wanted out of the relationship. He flew off the handle and he shot her intentionally.
For prosecutors, one of the most telling pieces of evidence is a conversation that allegedly took place between Carlos and Shakira shortly after she arrived at his house on the evening of the shooting.
We had a long conversation with Carlos' sister and discovered that there was actually an argument that took place in the bedroom just an hour earlier where Carlo was accused of cheating on the victim, and they had a dispute about that.
What do you want?
Yo, you know, you always on my case, Shy. You need to just relax. Why can't you relax sometimes?
Because you need to grow up. I am done dealing with this.
He gave some kind of story of where he was and his alibi didn't check out. She called him out on it. It was understood she was about to end the relationship, and that angered him.
Oh, whoa, hey, who do you think you are? You don't walk out on me.
Just watch me.
Prosecutors call Mark Thomas to the stand to tell jurors what happened next.
While Shakira is taking care of their baby and getting her belongings together, Carlo, his sisters, and Mark Thomas go out to the car and start partying.
I need my car, Carlo.
Yo, how about you go back in the house and take care of the baby? You need his mama right now.
I'll take my baby and we're not coming back.
Carlo reached where he knew the gun was and pointed that gun at her.
Don't point that at me. It's that you plan.
I think that's what led up to the murder. She called him out. He got upset about that, and she challenged him. He pulled the gun out, he pointed at her, and he made a conscious decision to pull that trigger.
The state argues that immediately after the shooting, Carlos and his family concocted a cover story.
They try to cover up. It was a string of lies. It was a drive-by. He was in the house. I mean, just one after another.
It wasn't until a week in front of them with, the cement casing in the car that they realized the game plan was not going to work.
What baffled me about the entire story is that the parents didn't say anything different. They knew it wasn't a drive-by. They knew. But they didn't say anything any different.
To support their contention that Shakira's death was premeditated, prosecutors call Shakira's cousin, Jessica Gilbert, to the stand to testify.
I testified to hearing the conversation between Carlos and Shakira in the car. He stated that if he can't have her, nobody else will. So basically, it's like you telling her this, and then next thing you know, she's gone.
Jessica's statement was crucial to the state's case. More than anything else, it showed intent, and the prosecution claims that he made good on that promise.
But Carlos's defense attorneys put a different spin on the events that evening.
The defense's position was that this was an accident. He had no intention to shoot her. There is no one who was actually present at the time of the shooting that would indicate that Carlo intended to shoot her.
Don't point that at me, except you want to use it.
I mean, what you mean? Ain't nobody pointing like...
According to Mark, Shakira had used her hand to push the gun away, and as she did that, the gun went off. Everyone who testified about the incident said that his actions immediately after the shooting were not consistent with someone who intended to shoot her.
Yo, who calling for help right now, man?
The defense really wanted to educate the jury, and they were ready to say, yeah, he's guilty of manslaughter. He did it. He took a life. But it was an accident. It was an act of passion. It wasn't violence.
In a surprising move, the man at the center of the case, Carlos, decides to testify on his own behalf.
Sometimes a jury wants to hear from the defendant. They had heard alternate accounts of the nature of the relationship between Carlo and Shakira. And it's very possible that the defense thought the jury is going to want to hear Carlo say, I did not shoot her intentionally, that I love this woman.
When he was up there, he was telling them, he said, y'all know I wouldn't do that.
And he was very convincing, in confessing his love for Shakira and that he would never do anything to harm her.
But prosecutors say there's just one problem with Carlos's accident story.
To say that Shy hit the gun and the gun went off, there was no way. One of the examiners brought in like 8 pounds of sugar and put it in a bag, and he had the jurors to actually hold it with their finger. He said it takes that much pressure to pull that trigger. So there was no way she hit it and it went off.
However, the state isn't quite finished.
Prosecutors also have a recording of a voicemail that Carlo and his sister Luana left for Shakira's mother in the aftermath of the shooting.
Carlo was in jail awaiting trial, and his sister was trying to help him put pressure on Shakira's family to drop the charges against him.
I got a voicemail from Carlos that the sister had made three-way. And he said, "Hey, Miss Denise, this is Carlos.
Carlos talks about how he knows what he did was wrong, but how he loved Shakira. Now he's hoping Ms. Dunson could contact his sister so they can get to the bottom of this and work something out."
So then I hear the sister say, "Well, Carlos, I'm going to keep calling until I get somebody."
Carlo's sister tells him that she will keep calling the Dunsons, and if there's anything else they need to know, they can call her because she witnessed the murder.
The sister goes and say, "Well, I witnessed this murder." So I'm saying to myself, did she not realize she have just implicated him?
Defense stated that this was an accident, but throwing the word murder around is very incriminating to Carlo in this case.
But will it be enough to persuade the jury? Following closing arguments, the 12 men and women are sent to deliberate. On Friday, March 6, 2015, the jury returns with a verdict.
He was found guilty on all charges: feticide, felony murder, possession of a firearm, and aggravated assault.
The judge said, "I'm tired of y'all throwing the word accidental around. This was no accident."
You put your finger on the trigger and you pull the trigger. It's not an accident. You shooting her and then saying, "Oh my God," now you regret it. That's not an accident.
At a sentencing hearing 3 days later, Shakira's mother, Denise, addresses the court.
I spoke upon Shai, who she was as an individual, who she was to us, and who she was to her son, Raphael. She lost the opportunity to see her child grow. She never heard his first words, never saw his first steps. You know, she missed all of that due to his cowardly act.
Carlos Simpson is sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms in prison.
I was happy with the court's decision, even though it doesn't fill that void because she's forever gone. But to know that he's been held accountable for this brings a sense of comfort.
But there's one other child who still suffers, Raphael, who has lost both his mother and his father.
You could say Raphael has lost more than anyone. He's going to grow up without a mother because Shakira's gone, and he's going to grow up without a father because Carlo will spend the rest of his life in jail.
I think it would be very tough for him growing up without his mother. She was basically trying to better her life for him until someone just decided upon himself to take her life.
The rest of Shakira's family and friends struggled to find some measure of peace.
I thought closure would come from the guilty verdict, but it didn't make anything easier. Shai is not here. The only thing we can do is let her memory stay alive.
I want people to remember her for all the good times, the good memories, the laughs, the smiles, the energy, the positive energy she kept around people.
An evening stroll turns into a chilling brush with the macabre.
I was contacted by our dispatch center. They had received a call of a body found alongside the road.
An investigation uncovers a tale of love and unforgivable betrayal of Shakespearean proportions.
He loved that girl from the top of her head to the soles of her feet.
He had gone through some text messages on her phone and had suspicions that she may have been having a relationship with somebody.
But detectives will learn that sometimes love can unlock the darkest recesses of the human heart.
He became a little bit more aggressive. He was very jealous.
This is where it starts to become like a Coen Brothers movie. In the movies, you get away with it. In reality, you go to prison.
July 12, 2012, 8 p.m. Gig Harbor, Washington residents John and Mary Henderson are enjoying a walk with their dog down a quiet stretch of country road.
The couple is walking their dog, and the dog veers off into this knee-high brush.
Where you going, girl?
The couple went out into the brush to see what the dog was after.
Oh my God.
And they saw a body, and it contacted authorities, the Pierce County Sheriff's Department.
911, what are you reporting?
We're walking our dog, and we found a body in the bushes.
Okay, we'll let the deputy in the area know. Thank you.
Within minutes, first responders are on the scene.
Hey, officer, the body's up in here. That's where we found it.
The body was about 15 feet off the main roadway. It's a black male, about 30 years old.
When police first respond to the scene, they see this dead body on the side of the road. At first, it looks like it could be a hit-and-run accident.
A nearby wallet soon gives police a clue to the man's identity.
There was a wallet lying there with some credit cards and other identification laying around. But the credit card, they had the name of Leon Baucom on it.
Leon Baucom was identified as a 33-year-old resident of Puyallup, Washington, which is about 30 miles from the scene.
Go ahead and start me forensics. Have Major Crimes give me a call. And I'm probably going to need a couple of other officers out here to set up a perimeter.
But what had brought Leon to this desolate patch of earth? As darkness falls on the scene, a team of investigators is about to make a startling discovery that suggests Leon Baucom's death may be no ordinary accident.
I just don't know how you could do something like that to somebody. I just thought evil, that's all I could think.
Leon Baucom was born on December 22nd, 1978, and named after his father.
Leon was a junior. Only the immediate family called him JR. His friends called him Leon.
But no matter what name Leon went by, the affable man with the wide smile amassed friends wherever he went.
He was a happy person. He could be serious. When it came to his family, he was very serious. But he was just a very happy person. He smiled a lot. He had a big smile, big heart.
But for Leon, family always came first, especially when it came to his grandmother, Natalie.
He and his grandmother were very close. Whenever he had something on his mind, he would go talk to his grandma.
After graduating from Stadium High School in Tacoma in 1998, Leon entered the local workforce, building a career from the ground up.
He wanted to get his own apartment, get a job, be on his own, get his own car, be his own man. And so that's what he did.
Before long, Leon's winning attitude unlocked the door to the future he wanted.
He was so bright and worked so hard and got along with everybody and was one of those employees that took pride in his work. He didn't miss work. He came on time. He went the extra mile.
He eventually got a job at Boeing, a manufacturing plant that made airplanes. And he enjoyed a very nice income at Boeing.
By 2002, Leon's good luck got even better when he met the stunning Yumiko Roberts.
You mind if I buy you a drink?
Yeah, sure.
They met at a club, and he said, I've met this girl. I really like her.
I mean, he was enthralled with her. He absolutely adored her. She was everything that he wanted.
May I have your number so I can maybe talk to you later?
Yeah, I think I like that.
She knew.
From that first magical night onward, Leon and Yumiko became inseparable.
He couldn't stop talking about how beautiful she was. She's so beautiful. So he loved the fact that he had a nice looking woman.
Home sweet home.
Sweet home.
Yumiko was a working single mother. She worked at a telecommunications company. She did everything she could to provide for her son. And when Leon came along, he was like a father figure to that boy.
He was a great resource to that young man. And from all that I know, they got along very well.
As Yumiko and Leon's romance deepened, Leon confessed to friends and family this could be the one.
I never dreamed we'd have a laugh like this.
He loved that girl from the top of her head to the soles of her feet.
I love you.
I love you more.
Those two were very affectionate towards each other. They were always holding hands, hugging, snuggling, smooching, smiling at each other.
They dated for about 2 years. And around 2004, she became pregnant with Leon's child. And they started living together.
In 2005, Leon and Yumiko welcomed a beautiful baby girl into their family.
He loved the idea of being a father. So when he had his daughter, he was over the moon. He was so in love with that baby.
After Leon and Yumiko welcomed their second child, a son, in 2007, they cemented the bonds of their love affair once and for all.
In 2008, they had a gorgeous wedding. Yumiko made a stunning bride.
Afterwards, Leon spared neither effort nor expense to ensure his family had everything they wanted.
Leon found a home in a neighborhood that he wanted to raise his family. He was just so proud of it.
With a happy family and a beautiful house, Leon seemed to be living the life he always imagined. But on a warm July night in 2012, 10 years after Leon and Yumiko first met, that dream life came crashing down.
When the couple found Leon's body, he was face down in the field.
The first officers on the scene suspected he had been hit by a car.
As investigators arrive at the scene, they're about to discover that there's much more to this tragic case than meets the eye.
I couldn't even think of who would do that to him. You know, that's all I could think, is why.
It's a quiet Thursday evening in Gig Harbor, Washington, when a couple walking their dog finds 33-year-old Leon Bachum's lifeless body.
The area where Leon's body was located, it's very rural. There's a gravel road there where there's brush that's overgrown.
Pierce County Sheriff's Detective Mark Murad is at his desk in nearby Tacoma when the call comes in.
Murad, let's get good. We'll be right there. Got a body.
No.
I was here at the office, downtown Tacoma, and I was contacted by our dispatch center telling me that they had received a call of a body found alongside the roadway in a rural area of Pierce County. I responded to the scene. The initial thought from the deputies at the scene was that the person possibly had been hit by a car.
But as Detective Murad takes a closer look at the victim, it's obvious this is no accident.
He had white duct tape wrapped around his ankles and his wrist and around his head, which was covering his eyes. The subject had been shot one time in the back around the shoulder blade area.
Leon Bachum hadn't been hit by a car. He had been shot and dumped there. And based on the condition of his body, they believe that his death occurred in the last 24 hours.
Now that this investigation is officially a homicide, Detective Murad and his team begin sifting through the dense vegetation for evidence.
Where Leon's body was found, we actually found, I believe there were 3 peanut packaging styrofoam pieces. We also found at the scene a Dora the Explorer card.
Were these items simply roadside debris or a possible link to Leon's killer? At this point, no one knows. But the location of Leon's body is also problematic for other reasons.
Normally when we show up at a crime scene, we canvass the area. There were really no houses in that area. We're kind of at a loss for trying to locate any resident witnesses that could see anything.
Authorities deliver the tragic news to Leon's family.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. This is Detective Murad. We believe we have found your son deceased in the woods this evening.
When I heard those words, I remember that I screamed, "What happened? Where is he?" And then I don't remember much after that.
I just couldn't believe he was gone. I just couldn't believe it. Who would want to do something like that to someone like Leon?
Leon was such a likable person. I couldn't imagine anybody, knowing his circle of friends, who would have done this. And so I was just really, really shocked by it.
My grandchildren never know their father. The baby was 4. How much do we remember when we're 4? The daughter was 7. She may remember. The oldest one was 12. He'll remember. But no one will ever love you like your parent will love you. Leon's legacy ended there, for that moment in time.
While the hurt and anger is more than Leon's friends and family can bear, by the time detectives contact Leon's wife, Yumiko, at her home the following morning, they're already pursuing a potential lead.
Detective Sergeant Adamson found that Leon Bachum had actually been arrested a few months prior in relation to a domestic violence incident involving his wife.
Sorry to have to ask you about this in your difficult time, but did you and Leon have any marriage difficulties?
Yes. Yes, we were having problems, but I loved him. I can't believe he's gone.
Yumiko describes the event that put Leon at odds with the law a few months earlier. It all started one night after Yumiko had put the children to bed.
Memorial Day weekend, Yumiko and Leon get into a really big fight.
Yumiko! Yumiko!
Leon has discovered text messages on Yumiko's phone.
Man, who is this? Who's texting you?
Are you going through my phone?
Who the hell is texting you this time of night? Oh, you tell me who's texting you.
He had become suspicious that Yumiko was having a relationship with someone.
That is just my friend from work. Why are you going through my phone?
The text messages are from a guy that Yumiko works with. And when you read the text messages, it definitely seems like she's having an affair with this guy.
Yumiko says the argument escalated until Leon did the unthinkable.
Leon had struck her in the face, allegedly breaking some sort of a facial bone she had to go to the hospital for.
Yumiko claims when her mother, Jackie, found out what happened, she couldn't let such an offense go unpunished.
I can't believe Leon hit you. I treated that boy like my own son, and he does this to you.
He was just angry.
No, that's no excuse.
Jackie is furious. They get to the house, Yumiko goes inside, and Jackie decides to call the police.
Leon was arrested for that domestic violence incident. The court issued a no contact order prohibiting from being at the shared residence.
But Yumiko says in the days and weeks that followed, Leon apologized for his behavior, and they agreed to try to work things out.
Yumiko did tell us that she allowed Leon to stay there on occasion. Sometimes he would stay at his grandmother's place in Tacoma, but half of the time he was staying with her.
Yumiko opposed the imposition of the no contact order. She was still seeing Leon.
According to Yumiko, her relationship with her husband seemed on the mend until the morning of July 11th, 2012.
That morning, when she was getting ready to go to work, Leon confronted her about the way she was dressed.
Like, who wears that to work? You trying to get all beautified because you've been texting that guy at work. I'm not stupid, Yumiko.
She decided that when she got off work that she was going to take the 3 kids and herself up to a Comfort Inn in Federal Way area and spend the night in order to avoid any conflict with Leon.
But the following day, Yumiko says Leon was nowhere to be found. When detectives ask Yumiko if she knows why Leon may have been in remote Gig Harbor, her answer surprises them.
Yumiko's parents' house, Jackie and Nathaniel Ray's house, was about a mile north of the location where the body was found.
Were they home that night?
No, they were out camping. That's why this doesn't make any sense.
Yumiko told us that her parents gone to the Potholes, which is Moses Lake area of Washington.
She says, my mother was with my father on a camping trip. They left on Tuesday.
Investigators wrap up their interview with Yumiko, but not before asking the one question now burning on everyone's mind.
Did you have anything to do with Leon's murder?
No.
No,
I loved him.
Well, thank you very much. We've taken up enough of your time.
Whether Yumiko's statement is the truth remains to be seen. But as detectives widen the scope of their inquiries, they will begin to uncover new details that indicate dark forces at play.
When Leon's Cadillac Escalade is found at the apartment complex where his grandmother lives, this tells police this was not a random crime.
July 13th, 2012. Less than 24 hours after Leon Backham's body was found along a remote roadside in Gig Harbor, Washington, local authorities are trying to piece together a timeline. They interview Leon's grandmother, Natalie Leak, who often hosted Leon overnight.
I'd like to ask you a couple questions about Leon, if I could.
Leon told his grandmother he'd be staying with her Wednesday, July 11th, and that's what she told police, but she says she never saw him that night. And he didn't show up.
When Natalie got up to go to work at 5:30 in the morning on Thursday, she noticed that Leon's Escalade was not parked in the parking lot of the complex.
Natalie says she tried to reach Leon but never got a hold of him, and when she returned from work that evening, she noticed something strange.
His vehicle was not present at their house the night before he was killed or the night he was killed. And then after the homicide, it was parked out in the parking lot.
His car shows up in my mother's driveway, and it terrified her. Her grandson's body had been found, and now his vehicle is in her driveway.
For law enforcement, the implications are serious. Had Leon's murder been carefully planned by someone familiar with his habits?
Whoever did this knew Leon. They knew that if he was at his grandmother's house, he was probably spending the night away from his marital home.
Investigators start with Yumiko's mother and stepfather, whose home is located a mile from where Leon's body was found.
Thanks for coming out. Got a couple questions for you.
I ended up contacting Nathaniel and Jackie Raven and arranged for them to come down to our office for an interview.
When the Rays speak to investigators, they corroborate Yumiko's statement that they'd been camping 200 miles away at Moses Lake.
Yumiko called me in the middle of the night and told me what happened. I was just devastated to hear about Leon.
Jackie wanted to come right back home, but the weather was terrible. So I said, let's just wait until it lets up.
So we ended up driving back the next morning.
It sounds like Jackie and Nathaniel were both pretty torn up about what happened.
But as investigators listen to the couple's account, they learn something interesting. Apparently, Jackie and Nathaniel didn't arrive at Moses Lake together.
We were supposed to go together, but Yumiko called me and told me that she and Leon had a fight Wednesday morning and that she and the kids were going to stay in a hotel.
Now, Jackie, her mother, is supposed to be on a vacation, but she needs to take care of Yumiko. She goes to the hotel, she checks Yumiko and the kids in, pays for the hotel, and that's where Yumiko is for the entire evening on July the 11th.
So I ended up driving up to the lake the next day. Yumiko called me that night. It was heartbreaking, even though my daughter and Leon had their problems.
She was honest with us, and she said that Leon wasn't her favorite person. She had concerns, especially after the domestic violence incident a couple months prior.
So they take Jackie and Nathaniel's statement, thank them for their time, and that's that.
Thank you for your time.
But when detectives review Yumiko and Jackie Ray's statements, they note a significant discrepancy.
Yumiko's statement that Jackie had already left to go to the campsite with her husband isn't true, because Jackie was with her the day that she checked her into the hotel on Wednesday, July the 11th. So this isn't true, and it makes police wonder, what is it that Yumiko knows?
Detectives subpoena Yumiko's cell phone records and find out that Leon's suspicions of her infidelity may have been justified.
They see she's texting her coworker, and while the nature of the communication is inconclusive, it's the timing of the text that gives detectives pause.
Before Leon was killed, Yumiko was actually talking to a coworker. During the time that the murder was taking place, there is no communication between Yumiko and the coworker. After Leon is murdered, communication resumes. So this is very curious.
Even more significant is that according to cell phone tower signals, Yumiko's phone was nowhere near the Comfort Inn in Federal Way on the night of July 11th.
They are able to place her phone in the vicinity of Gig Harbor, where Leon's body was found, and the implications of this are staggering.
Police are wondering if Yumiko could be involved. Did she want Leon out of the picture so that she could pursue this relationship with the coworker?
Naturally, one person of interest is the man Leon believed Yumiko was having an affair with, her coworker, Michael Brooks. According to Leon's mother, her daughter-in-law's alleged infidelities blindsided her son.
My son called me in tears, and he said that he felt betrayed. He felt like he had given her everything.
LaVon says the revelation made her son more determined than ever to fight for his marriage.
So he went up there and confronted this individual, and this individual basically said to him, "She's your wife. I know she's your wife, but I don't care."
But you don't care? This ain't hardly over. I will be back. Oh, believe that.
He was very upset. He felt very betrayed.
For investigators, the news of a possible love triangle is certainly intriguing, and one well worth investigating.
When you start to catch a scent that something is awry, you have to follow your nose. More often than not, it's going to lead you somewhere, and it may not always be pretty.
Days after the shooting death of 33-year-old Leon Bacham, authorities in Washington state are still pondering the possibilities.
There were allegations of an affair between Leon's wife and her coworker, Michael Brooks. So certainly that was an avenue that had to be investigated.
But when police sit down with Michael, he denies having anything to do with Leon's death.
Look, man, I wasn't anywhere near Gig Harbor that night. I had nothing to do with his death, okay?
All right. Well, we're gonna go verify your alibi. Hold on a second.
Okay.
When police check out Michael's alibi, it seems airtight. His cell phone is pinpointed far from Gig Harbor, and through witnesses, police were able to confirm he was nowhere in the vicinity the night Leon died.
But what's Yumiko's alibi? For that, detectives turned to her 16-year-old half-sister, Chelsea.
What we know was that child was in fact staying with Yumiko and her children at a hotel.
Was she there the whole night with you?
Yes. She did step out for dinner, but it was only for about 20 minutes or so.
Eventually, they rule Yumiko out because Yumiko was at the hotel with her children on the day that Leon was murdered.
Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate it.
But just when it seems like their leads are drying up, a new one comes forward in the form of Leon Baum's close friend, Jeffrey Harris.
Jeffrey Harris, Leon's friend, is the last person to see Leon alive.
Jeffrey tells police he had seen Leon on the night of Wednesday, July 11th, and that Leon seemed upset because he couldn't find his wife and kids.
He knew when he returned home that Yumiko was no longer at the residence and began calling and texting her, trying to find out where she's at.
He starts panicking. He's frantic. He wants to know where they are. So he calls his friend and he's telling his friend, the kids aren't here. Yumiko's not here. Finally, he meets with a friend, Jeffrey Harris.
Man, I really appreciate it.
No problem.
But besides his family's welfare, Leon apparently had another reason to meet his friend that night.
We met about 10 p.m. that night to exchange vehicles. He had been driving my vehicle and I was driving his.
He's not supposed to be at the marital home, so he's been switching cars with his friend so that the police will not realize that he's there and he won't get arrested again.
Yumiko and Leon went to great lengths to protect themselves so that Leon wasn't arrested or charged with violations of the no contact order.
There was a police officer that lived up the street from Miko's house, and apparently Leon thought that if that officer saw the Escalade there, that he would know that he was violating that no contact order.
Everything all right?
Yumiko tripping at the house. I'm going to my grandmother's house.
Look, man, anything you need, just let me know.
Thank you.
Leon gets his Cadillac Escalade back, and now he's trying to figure out where Yumiko is.
But Jeffrey tells police when Leon pulled away that night, that's not the direction he drove.
When Leon drove off, he was actually driving in the opposite direction than if he was going to Natalie's house.
It is the last time anyone sees Leon.
If Leon didn't go to Natalie's house that night, and he didn't want to risk arrest by driving his own vehicle home, what was his destination? Soon, detectives find another of Leon's close friends, Ronald Pratt, whom is integral in solving the mystery.
His best friend Ronnie said, wow, Leon called me that night, late at night, like almost 11.
He said that Jackie had called him and told him to come out there because Yumiko was there.
He had received a call from Jackie telling him that Yumiko was at the house, that she was upset and that she had wanted to talk with him, try to work things out.
Ronald recalls that even though Leon was anxious to get out to Jackie's house and patch things up with Yumiko, he also had his suspicions.
Leon was really concerned about Jackie Ray contacting police and saying that he was violating the no contact order.
He was kind of concerned because he thought when he got out there that she might call the police and have him arrested.
He tells his friend Ron Pratt, let me drive over there and see what's going on.
That last phone contact that Ron had with Leon was close to midnight.
I ended up falling asleep. And when I woke up, I realized he hadn't called me back.
Ron became concerned about where Leon was at, whether he'd been arrested.
Ronald says that on the morning of July 12th, he reached out to the one person likely to have information about Leon's whereabouts.
Mr. Pratt contacts Yumiko the next day. She indicates that she hasn't seen Leon. She doesn't know why he would be out there and doesn't know what he's talking about, which would be wholly inconsistent with what information was provided from Leon to Mr. Pratt prior to the homicide.
The problem is they know Yumiko was at the Comfort Inn, but they tracked her cell phone to Gig Harbor, which according to Ronald is where Jackie Ray said Yumiko was. So they bring back Jackie and Nathaniel to try and shed some light on the issue.
On July 20th, the Rays arrive to speak with detectives once again. This time, they're accompanied by their attorney.
We have reason to believe that your son-in-law drove out to your house on Wednesday, July 11th. We have evidence that shows that Yumiko's phone was pinging off towers near your house.
She told us during her statement that she had taken Amiko's phone and left it at her house in Gig Harbor because there was knowledge that Leon had placed some sort of a tracking application on Amiko's phone. I asked Jackie if Leon ever showed up at her house that night. She explicitly denied that he had ever been there.
But as adamant as Jackie is about her story, there's one detail that's hard for detectives to overlook, and it may be the most telling of them all.
They're asking her, well, why is it that Leon was found a mile away from your home? Jackie's attorney tells her to assert her Fifth Amendment privilege. And this makes police extremely suspicious because why won't she answer that question?
July 20th, 2012, 8 days into the investigation of Leon Bachum's death, Jackie Ray sits in front of investigators asserting she never saw her son-in-law on the night of his murder. But the location of Leon's body, as well as the statement of Leon's friend Ronald Pratt, suggests otherwise.
Why did we find his body less than a mile from your house?
One moment, please. Gentlemen, I have directed my client not to answer that question. She will be invoking her Fifth Amendment privilege.
That was the only time that her attorney interjected and said that she wouldn't be answering that question. I thought that was a little suspicious.
With Jackie asserting her Fifth Amendment rights, detectives have no choice but to conclude their interview and release her. Detectives can sense the trail is hot, but the 49-year-old grandmother and respiratory therapist hardly fits the profile of a murderer.
Jackie is an unlikely suspect. Nobody would suspect that Jackie would do something like this. She's the loving mother, the doting grandmother who loves her kids dearly.
Miss Ray was a participant in search and rescue crews. She was a Sunday school teacher.
Is this the resume of someone who would arrange the murder of her son-in-law? Detectives still aren't sure. But when authorities subpoena Jackie's cell phone data, what they find is nothing short of shocking.
Texts from her phone indicate that during the time that Leon was driving over, she was on the phone with another phone number.
We didn't know who the subscriber of that phone was, and it talked about that night, her telling this person that Leon was on his way over and that he needed to come now. And the response back on those text messages were something to the effect of, I have to stop and pick up my boy.
As Leon's on his way to her house, she's texting, he's on his way, hurry up, get here.
The text messages offer a promising lead, and authorities chase it down by serving a search warrant on Jackie's house on July 27th.
We actually located a couple things of interest. Outside in one of the vehicles, we found a box with some styrofoam peanut packaging.
They also find more Dora the Explorer cards in Jackie's minivan. So now they have the same evidence in Jackie's car that was at the crime scene.
That put a direct link between at least the house.
But the most damning evidence isn't found by investigators. It comes from Jackie's own mouth.
While the search warrant was being served and the house being searched by detectives, Detective Wood and I ended up back on the back patio, porch area with Jackie.
Jackie, you mind if we talk to you for a second?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. We've got your cell phone records, and we've got your text the night of Leon's murder.
I pretty much dropped the bomb on her, and she was a little startled by that.
Jackie makes a very strange comment.
Look, I didn't pull the trigger.
Why? What do you mean you didn't pull the trigger? Well, what did you do? What part did you have in this?
Authorities leave the Ray household, but Jackie knows she's in hot water, and it isn't long before she takes destiny into her own hands.
We both kind of left Jackie with, you need to think about things, and when you're ready to talk to us, you should probably go talk to your attorney and have your attorney give us a call when you're ready to talk. It wasn't but a few days later when we received a call from Jackie's attorney telling us that she was ready to give a full confession. And I think she knew she was backed into a corner.
On August 1st, Jackie Ray sits down with investigators and finally comes clean.
I hired Louis Barker to kill Leon.
Louis Barker had just been released from prison. He was a friend of someone that Jackie Ray knew. He has an extensive criminal record.
She felt as though he would be the one willing to do what she needed to have done, which was having Leon killed. They had several different meetings, discussed details of how this was going to take place and how payment was going to be made.
She provided Mr. Barker $8,000 early on in the process, with the understanding that she would pay another $2,000 during the course of or leading up to the commission of the crime.
The last place they meet is a Starbucks. She makes a payment, makes the final payment.
Jackie explains how they lured Leon to her house on the night of July 11th.
Yumiko checked into a hotel that night with their kids because she'd gotten into it with Leon earlier in the day. And when Jackie got there, she took Yumiko's phone.
Jackie tells investigators that she convinced Yumiko to hand over her phone so that Leon wouldn't be able to track Yumiko to the hotel.
Yumiko wasn't answering her phone. So Leon called Jackie and left a message, and she called him back and said, oh, Yumiko is here and she's upset. And Leon's comment was, upset about what? Why is she there? So he says, put her on the phone. And Jackie wouldn't put her on the phone.
Put her on the phone.
She, in fact, took Yumiko's phone with her, which allowed Leon to know where that phone was based on the tracking device, and then explicitly lured him back to her house under the pretense that Yumiko was at the house and may want to talk to him that night.
Once she had Leon on the hook, Jackie set her plan's final horrible act in motion.
She knew that he was coming from at least an hour away. That's when she texted Louis and told Louis that Leon's on his way over.
During the time frame that she's having that dialogue with Leon, she's also communicating with Mr. Barker saying, okay, are you going to make it out here? He's on his way.
Jackie says Leon arrived shortly before midnight at her home in Gig Harbor.
Leon pulls into Jackie's driveway, and then he hangs up. He hangs up with Ron. The worst that Leon thinks is going to happen is that he'll be arrested. He has no idea he is literally walking into a death trap.
The plan was to abduct Leon and take him somewhere else to be killed.
When he entered the home, these two guys were in the bushes outside the door. So when he walked in the door, they were right behind him, and one had a gun. And Leon knew that he was in trouble, and he began to fight for his life.
This is where it starts to become like a Coen Brothers movie. As often happens with amateur crimes, it went horribly awry. They lured the victim to Jackie's house with the intent of kidnapping him. It turned out he was bigger and stronger than they anticipated, and so they ended up shooting at her house.
Why did you shoot him in the house? You're gonna get blood everywhere.
The grim deed was done. Jackie provided Barker and his accomplice a tarp and duct tape to transport Leon's body away from the scene.
These hired killers bound him with duct tape. The coroner's report says my son was still breathing when they dumped him.
Luis puts him in the car, and he transports him to this marshy field where he's going to leave the body. In the meantime, Jackie is back home cleaning up. She's trying to get this blood stain out. She's burning paper towels to get rid of evidence.
When they returned back to the house, Louis told her that she needed to clean some blood stains out of her van, which she subsequently did do.
Jackie says later that morning she drove Leon's white Escalade back to Natalie Leith's apartment complex.
She takes Leon's white Escalade to his grandmother's house because that's where he was supposed to be staying. She leaves it there, and Luis comes and picks Jackie up, and then they leave. And they pretend none of this happened.
As for Yumiko, Jackie explains her daughter was not involved.
It turns out Yumiko really didn't know what her mother's intentions were. She had no idea what Jackie was planning to do that night.
After hearing Jackie's stunning confession, detectives take her into custody and charge her with Leon's murder. But in order to capture the men who actually committed the vile deed, authorities will have to employ a strategy right out of a Hollywood handbook.
Jackie Ray confessed she gave up herself and the shooter, and she agreed to wear a wire.
On August 1st, 2012, 49-year-old Washington grandmother Jackie Ray confessed to an unthinkable crime, hiring 2 men to take out her son-in-law, Leon Bockham. Now, detectives need Jackie's help to catch her alleged accomplices.
During our conversation with Jackie at her attorney's office, we asked her if she'd be willing to wear a wire, have a meeting with Lewis to discuss his role in Leon's murder. She was agreeable to that.
A week later, on August 7th, Jackie contacts Barker and arranges a meeting, much like the ones they'd already had while planning the murder.
She set up a meeting with Lewis at a restaurant in Lakewood. She wore a wire, and the entire conversation was recorded.
At first, Barker is evasive.
Mr. Barker is sophisticated enough to know not just to discuss murder for hire in a public place, but he's willing to discuss it in an abstract way.
The police are snooping around. They come into the house and they're asking me questions.
It'll all blow over soon.
Lewis maintains his vague demeanor until Jackie hits on a line of questioning that sets law enforcement's headsets buzzing.
Jackie also asks him, well, why did you do this in my house? This was supposed to take place somewhere else. Why did you do it inside?
He lunged for the gun, so we had to get him right there.
2 of our Special Investigation Unit detectives placed him under arrest.
Although police believe an unknown accomplice still remains at large, Barker refuses to implicate him.
After Lewis's arrest, he wanted an attorney right away, so we were never able to interview him. So that third person is still out there. We don't know who that is at this point.
In the months that follow, prosecutors face another tough dilemma.
The problem that we faced with regard to Mr. Barker was that if we didn't work out a deal with Jackie Ray, we wouldn't be able to use her statements against him in the course of his trial.
So ultimately, although prosecutors believe Jackie Ray could be convicted of first-degree murder, they offer her a plea deal for second-degree murder, and she takes it.
The family was very unhappy with the second-degree murder plea. We fought long and hard with the prosecutor's office to get those charges upgraded.
In my view, was just asinine to end up with a second-degree murder charge for contract killing. We have a statute in Washington, and contract killing is the most serious crime in our murder statute. There is no crime that's more serious than that. Upon conviction, it is life in prison. And if ever a case fit those facts, this one did.
Jackie testified against Lewis at his trial, and her testimony helped convict him. He was sentenced to 34 years for shooting and killing Leon Bockham.
But it's at Jackie's sentencing hearing on February 7th, 2014, that Leon's family is in for a surprise. When it comes time to pick sides, Leon's wife Yumiko claims her mother's actions were arguably justified.
Yumiko was considered part of the victim's family. She was allowed to speak, and she was really caught in a difficult position because she's lost her husband. At the same time, her mother is the person who is responsible for his death. But she defends her mother. She tells the court that her mother was just trying to protect her.
Yumiko got up and had said that she had been afraid for herself and her children.
For Leon's family, Yumiko's statement feels like a betrayal.
You could have heard a pin drop. Because that is the biggest lie. As they say, the biggest lie since the devil learned to talk. When were you afraid for your life? When were your children's lives ever threatened?
But when Jackie makes her statement before the court, she confirms that fear is what motivated her actions.
Jackie said to the court that she acted because she was afraid that her daughter was in danger, in continuing danger. She felt that this was the only way that she could protect her daughter.
According to Jackie, it was her own prior experience with domestic abuse that made the situation all too urgent in her mind.
The defendant, who was herself a victim of domestic violence, apparently believed that her daughter was in physical danger because of a previous assault.
Jackie divorced her first husband, Richard. Richard went on to marry another woman. At some point, he was having problems with his new wife, was going through a custody battle, and he ended up murdering her and then killing himself. And he did this in front of their children.
Jackie Ray vowed that her daughter wouldn't meet the same fate.
She is intertwining the past relationship with Richard that was abusive with the murder-suicide and with what's going on with Yumiko and Leon presently. She says that this is why she had to get rid of him. It was all because she loved Yumiko. It was all to protect Yumiko.
But Leon's family asserts in their victim's impact statement that at least part of Jackie Ray's story is false.
The lie was that Leon was a serial abuser of his wife. That was the lie.
Yumiko never came forward with any other instances of domestic violence. She was attempting to reconcile with Leon, by all accounts.
Leon's family, they were outraged by these allegations.
Prosecutors insist that what this case is really about is obsessive motherly control.
The motivating factor in hiring Louis Barker to kill Leon was not fear of her for her daughter. She wanted that relationship over.
She just didn't like the man. Jackie was one of these mother-in-laws that had a key to his home, would go to his home when she felt like it, would disrespect him in his home, boss him around in his home. She basically was one of those nightmare mother-in-laws.
After hearing both sides, the judge ultimately sides with prosecutors.
Jackie was sentenced to 18 years in prison.
18 years is not enough. I believe that Jackie is the monster. For as much as she tried to portray my son as this horrible, mean person, your daughter was happy and well cared for and loved. Your grandchildren were well cared for and loved. But my son was mistreated. My son was harassed. And ultimately, my son was murdered. So who's the monster? My son was not the monster.